Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys what is on my new 14-inch MacBook Pro. A lot of you guys requested to see this since I actually haven't done like an actual in-depth what's on my MacBook in a while, and I just recently got this new MacBook for Christmas. It was kind of like my own Christmas present to myself, but still. So I decided to do an updated one for you guys, and then I will also be giving you guys some tips for students and also influencers towards the end of this video on apps and little tricks you can do with your laptop to just set you up for success, whether you are still in school or if you're wanting to start a channel, anything like that. I am going to make timestamps to help section off this video, so if you're interested in a certain part of it, you can just scroll your cursor along the timeline and find which part you want to go to. The timestamps are also in the description of the video. I do want to thank PDFelement for sponsoring today's video. PDFelement is a PDF editing tool that provides the easiest ways to create, edit, convert, and sign PDF forms and documents across your desktop, mobile phone, or the web. Stay tuned until later in the video to hear more about PDFelement and how I use it in my life. If you guys want to know what laptop I have or the specs about the certain laptop that I have, I do have the unboxing video with all of that information in it. I'll put it right up here in the iCard for you guys to go check out if you're interested in that. And yeah, that's basically it for the intro, and let's just get started with the video. Alright, so just to show you guys what's on my MacBook, first here's what the desktop looks like. This is my background. Then we have 3 folders here. I'm not going to go super in depth now because I will be showing you guys like what's in them and all that in a future section of this video. We have this one PDF here, but that is also for a later section in this video, and that's basically it for my desktop. Then here on my dock, these are the applications that I have. So we have Launchpad, which basically takes you to all the apps you have on your computer, text messages, notes, photos, PDFelement, which is who is sponsoring today's video, Safari, Google Chrome, Final Cut Pro, Spotify, Calendar, Music, Notion, Pinterest, System Preferences, and yeah. So those are the main apps that I use like on a daily basis, which is why I have them on my dock. But just to show you guys other apps that I have in my Launchpad, here are all the apps that are located on my MacBook. I'm not gonna go like in depth of all of them, but this is basically what is on there. The only other ones on here that I will use sometimes that aren't on my dock are Photo Booth, Pages. I mainly use Pages at school if I need to convert like documents that my teachers have that are like Word documents. I will sometimes use Pages for that. I do have Minecraft and Roblox installed, but I haven't like used them on here in a really long time. And I don't know how I have TikTok and YouTube on here, but I do somehow. I've never used them. I honestly don't know. But these are just the other apps that we have on here, and that's literally it for what's on my MacBook. So this is what my main desktop looks like, and the first thing of customization is obviously the background. So if you guys watched my 2022 reset video, then you would have seen that I made a 2022 vision board and I set that as my background. So this is how it turned out. I did post this exact one on my Pinterest if you're interested in it, but if you guys want to see how I made the vision board, then you can check out my 2022 reset video up in the iCard. But basically, if you don't know how to change the background of your MacBook, all you have to do is go down to System Preferences and then go to Desktop and Screensaver, switch it over to Desktop, and you have a few different options. First off, Apple gives you like some that you can just use that comes with the Mac. You can also have a solid color if you're interested. You can use a photo that is in your camera roll, but what I personally do is I make my screensaver, I save it to my desktop, and currently I have it saved in this folder. But what I usually do is I'll just drag and drop it to this square and it'll set it, and it's as easy as that. And then just a few other customizations I have on my MacBook. First off, for my screensaver, mine is this one where it like flips. So this is what it looks like, and then every minute it'll flip to a different time. And basically this is called Flicklo, or I don't know how to like pronounce it, but this is what it looks like. So to find this screensaver, you want to go to Google and search Flicklo screensaver. You'll go to the first website, then you'll just click on the screen and follow the directions from here here. It is free to download, so I just downloaded it. And once you download it, it should appear in this little section. You want to select it and it'll show up on your screensaver. I have mine showing up after 5 minutes, but you can choose any of these options. Another customization I always like to do when I get a new MacBook is to customize the dock down here. So I like to make my dock bigger personally and to do this like wave looking thing. So to do this, go to System Preferences, then you want to go to Dock and Menu Bar, and there's all of these controls that you can use to customize this dock. So personally, the size is right in the middle for me. I like mine to be large but not like humongous. And then I have my magnification up right about here, so it's not fully to the max, but it's a little farther than halfway. I personally like my dock to be on the bottom, but you can also have it on the left side of your screen, which looks like this. I don't know, this is not my favorite. You can also have it on the right side of your screen. This is not my favorite either, but you can have it however you want it. And then there's a bunch of other little customizations you can do to your dock, and I also just like to edit all of the things on here. So when I first get a MacBook, I will drag and remove icons or like apps that I don't want to be on this dock, because these are really the only ones that I use. And those are basically the customizations that I make to my laptop. I don't do anything super fancy. I just kind of like to keep it pretty neutral. I will admit I am not the best person at keeping my desktop organized. Like, I have to clean it out every once in a while because it gets messy. How I like to keep it as organized as possible is to have 3 folders, and you don't obviously have to have exactly 3. You can have however many you want, but 3 works perfectly for me. So I have YouTube, school, and etc., which basically means personal stuff. I try to keep as little like items on my desktop as possible. So as you can see, the only thing I have besides the folders is this PDF, and that's because I'll be using it later when I show you guys the PDFelement that is sponsoring today's video. So obviously when I don't need that anymore, I'll just delete it, or I'll put it in one of the folders, but I don't like to have too many random things on here. So that's basically how I organize my MacBook, and I've kind of already mentioned the tips that I have for you guys, but my 2 main tips for you guys are to make folders, not too many, but enough that keeps your life organized, and to use them as much as possible and keep the least amount of random screenshots and PDFs on your desktop as possible, just to keep it organized. Thank you again to PDFelement for sponsoring today's video. Like I've kind of mentioned in the beginning of the video, PDFelement is a software that is designed to transform the office experience for everyone, if that makes any sense. It has easy to use tools that assist you in editing, annotating, adding an e-signature, and so much more to a basic PDF. The 2 functions that are the most useful for me in my life, for specifically like school, are OCR and edit. So they kind of lead into each other, honestly, and I'm gonna give you guys a little like walkthrough on PDFelement right now. Okay, so I have PDFelement right down here on my dock, and this is what it looks like. So I'm just gonna go ahead and open that up. So when you open it up, I'm just gonna make this full screen so it's easier for you guys to see, but there's a bunch of these tools here up at the top that you can use for your PDF, and like I said, the 2 main functions that I like to use are OCR and edit. So I'll just show you guys what they do. So basically this is OCR up here, and what you want to do is click it and then select the PDF that you want to use for this setting. Personally, the way that I use OCR is where I take a picture of a page or a few pages in my textbook, specifically biology, and what it does is it scans that picture and allows me to edit and annotate it however I want. So let me show you guys how to do that quick. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna click OCR PDF, and I'm gonna go to my desktop so that I can select the one that I want, and it is called Textbook PDF. So basically what I did is I took a picture of one of my textbook pages for honors biology, and I'm going to open that up, select my English language. Obviously if the page is in a different language, you're going to select the corresponding language, and then I'm going to click perform OCR, and this is just going to take a few seconds. Okay, so I wanted to zoom in and just focus on part of the PDF so that it was easier for you guys to see like how I edit it. So this is the top part of the textbook page, and obviously as you can see there might be some minor few glitches, but it honestly depends on how well you take the picture. I just took the picture very quickly, and so obviously it didn't catch some of the words, but honestly I think it did a very good job. So what you do basically is you can edit this to however you want to do it. So you can see all of these little tools up here, and then this is where my second favorite function comes in, and that is called edit. OCR is basically being able to scan your textbook or just take a normal PDF and being able to insert it into here and start editing, and then edits is obviously the actual tools that you can use to edit it. There's markup, and this you can like highlight anything, and basically you can just highlight certain text that you want, and it kind of looks like you're annotating the actual book. So you can also use the strike through setting, so I can just cross out whatever I want to cross out. There's also an underlining tool and a squiggly line tool as well. So I think that is honestly really cool. And there's also just a drawing tool if you wanted to like draw whatever you wanted on there, and being able to erase as well. So that's all in markup. And then there's all of these other ones such as text. So basically you can see all this text that is on this PDF, and it allows you to edit the text that was originally on there. So if I wanted to go down here into like this paragraph, I'll just like zoom in so you guys can see it a little easier. Okay, so for example, let's say I thought this sentence was too long, or I just don't need the information when I'm studying. I can just go in and delete this whole section of words, and it'll shorten the paragraph, and it'll just delete the text like it wasn't even there in the first place. And honestly, that is so cool. So that is basically PDFelement. If you're interested in trying out PDFelement, I've linked it in the description down below for you guys to go check it out. I would totally recommend it, and I want to say thank you again to PDFelement for sponsoring today's video. So overall, all of that PDFelement stuff I would put into like one tip. That's kind of its own tip, is to have that. Personally for me, it's very helpful, but if you're not interested in that, I would just make sure you have the applications that you need to study on your computer so it's accessible. Another tip I have is to have your school related links, or any links you need for school frequently, accessible on Google Chrome or Safari or whatever you use. I have both, but I personally use Google Chrome more. I just think it's a little bit easier for me. And then the last tip I have for students is to have a do not disturb setting set for while you're at school. This is meant for like more leaning towards YouTube type influencers, just because obviously these are things I use for YouTube, but they can work if you want to be like a TikTok influencer or Instagram or whatever you want to do. These are just some of my tips. If you're just starting out on YouTube and you need an editing software that you don't necessarily want to pay too much for or pay anything, I would recommend iMovie. iMovie comes on all Apple products for free, and you don't need to pay for any certain like tools to use on it. So I'll show you guys what it looks like. This is what iMovie looks like, and like I said, it comes on all Apple products for free, and it has so many great tools for editing, especially for someone starting off. I know it can seem kind of overwhelming when you're starting to edit, and you need to kind of like learn how to edit, learn how you want to edit, and so I think iMovie is a great application to start off with. But if you are getting more advanced and you want like just something more, I would definitely recommend Final Cut Pro. This is what it looks like down here. Final Cut Pro is an advanced editing software that you can get on a MacBook or an iMac. You can't get it on Androids, but it is definitely a great editing software for anyone who wants a step up in their editing. Unfortunately, it is $300, which is quite expensive if you ask me. Honestly, like it takes your editing to the next level. My next tip for influencers is to use Notion to organize all of your content and your sponsorships. Obviously, you don't have to use like Notion in specific, but it's just something that I use, and I would definitely recommend you try out if you're interested. You probably have seen a lot of people already use Notion to help organize their daily life, school, jobs, YouTube, like everything. So I'll show you guys what mine looks like. So when you open up Notion, this is what you see. I like to keep mine very minimal just because I feel I don't need too much on here. So this is my home page, and what we have here are 3 sub pages linked in here, and then my main calendar. I don't put anything really on this calendar except for main events such as trips, school events, and anything in my normal life, if that makes sense. Like no YouTube content really goes on here. But if you scroll back up and you click Content Planner, this is where all of the YouTube content gets planned. And this is literally one of the best organizational things I have for YouTube. So I'll kind of go through it a little bit with you guys. So I have this table here with these different columns, and the first column has the video titles. So I'll write down the title that I want for the video, or like an idea of the title. Then I have my film date, which is the date that I'm going to film the video, or when I want to start filming it, if it's like multiple days worth of filming. My publish date is the date I want it to post. The status is how the video's doing. So the different options that I have are waiting, planning, filming, editing, scheduled, and completed. And this is literally like the best organizational thing I have for YouTube right now. I use it pretty much every day, and it's been working for me for about 4 months maybe. Below that, I have my content calendar, and this is basically the table put in a calendar. calendars. So this gives me a more visual perspective on like when the videos are gonna post and how many videos I'll have in total over the month. And this also helps me like move around videos if I need to post it on a different day. It's just a different view of my content, and I would definitely recommend doing something like this for your content as well if you're interested in it, because it just keeps you so much more organized. I don't have a posting schedule right now, so I don't really need to focus on like posting on a certain day at a certain time or like having a video done by a certain day. But if you do have a posting schedule, I think this would be very beneficial for you in my opinion. Alright, so we have made it to the end of today's video. Once again, I want to give a big thank you to PDFelement for sponsoring today's video, and I definitely think you guys should go check them out. Their link is in the description down below. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was kind of a mix of like two types of videos, but honestly I feel like they fit really well together. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that bell down below to be notified whenever I post. I don't have a posting schedule, so I'm going to be posting on any random day, at any random time. Just whenever I have a video ready, I will post it for you guys. This will hopefully allow me to post a little bit more for you guys because it will allow me to choose my priorities. So if there's something such as school that needs to be at a higher priority than getting my video out on time, I will be able to do that, and then I'll be able to kind of just help prioritize certain things when I need to. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!